We spend our entire lives meticulously constructing an identity that, sooner or later, we are forced to violently defend. We build massive, towering walls made of our worldly achievements, our job titles, our social status, and the carefully curated stories we tell others about who we are. We become the very fortresses we build. But an uncomfortable question quietly haunts us all. What happens when the world abruptly takes it all away? Who is left when you are suddenly, terrifyingly, no longer anyone? Curiously, one of the most profound answers to this universal existential dread doesn't come from the pages of a dusty philosophical tome or the teachings of a secluded monastery. It comes from a quiet, almost entirely silent scene in Ridley Scott's Gladiator. Think of the recurring dreamlike vision the protagonist, Maximus, experiences throughout the film. He walks slowly, deliberately, through an endless field of wheat. The colors are deeply saturated, bathed in a fading golden twilight. The camera focuses on his hand, his calloused, battle-scarred fingers gently brushing against the tops of the crops. Listen closely to the absolute silence of that scene. There is no war raging in the background. There is no sprawling empire left to serve. There is no burning desire for revenge in his eyes. There is only the soft rustling of the wind and the raw, unmediated feeling of the earth. It is pure visual poetry, but more importantly, it is a profound meditation on what it actually means to simply exist, entirely unburdened by the heavy chains of a remembered past or an anticipated future. To truly understand the crushing weight of this peaceful moment, we have to look at the man before his catastrophic fall, before he became a nameless slave, fighting for his survival in the bloody dirt of the arena. Maximus Decimus Meridius was the most respected general in the entire Roman Empire. He was a man whose very name carried the terrifying weight of legions. He was a leader, a conqueror, a father, and a deeply loyal servant to Rome. But when the corrupt Emperor Commodus seizes power, Maximus loses absolutely everything in the blink of an eye. His prestigious title, his beloved family, his fundamental freedom, and his life's entire purpose are burned to the ground. He is violently stripped of the heavy armor of his identity. He is thrown into the absolute abyss, left with less than nothing. Yet it is exactly here, in the darkest, most desolate void of losing everything he thought he was, where a subtle, almost invisible transformation takes place. His ego is forced to die, before his body does. This transition represents the ultimate state of human liberation. The 20th century philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti taught a concept that challenges the very foundation of how we experience the world. He stated that all human conflict and all our deep internal psychological suffering is born the exact moment the observer separates from the observed. We constantly narrate our own lives. We have a relentless voice in our heads saying, "I am a successful general, I am broken, or I am a victim." By doing this, we create a painful duality, a distance between our mind and reality. We judge the present moment rather than simply living it. But in that quiet field of wheat, Maximus bridges the gap. He perfectly embodies the fundamental Buddhist concept of anatta, often translated as non-self. Anatta teaches that there is no permanent, unchanging core to our identity. The self is merely a temporary illusion created by our attachments. In that golden vision, Maximus is not the mighty commander of the Felix legions. He is not the famous, blood-soaked gladiator of the Colosseum. He isn't even a broken father mourning his tragic past. He is just a man, touching the wheat. He is the movement. He is the physical sensation. By dropping the exhausting illusion of his ego, Maximus finds a profound, untouchable peace, that no military victory or worldly conquest could ever provide. The mask shatters, the ego dissolves, and only the pure, unfiltered, non-dual experience of the present remains. We may not be fighting for our physical lives against tigers and swordsmen in the Colosseum, but our modern minds are often violently chaotic arenas of their own. Today we define ourselves almost exclusively by our external labels, our job titles, our academic degrees, our bank accounts, our follower counts. We walk around every single day wearing heavy Roman armor made entirely of other people's expectations. Eastern philosophy teaches us a difficult, liberating truth about these labels. They are part of Maya, the illusion of the material world. They are useful tools for navigating human society, but they are not you. When a business fails, when a long-term relationship ends, or when you lose your social standing, the intense, suffocating suffering you feel is what Buddhists call dukkha. This suffering does not come from the reality of the present moment itself. It comes from the violent death of the label you were clinging to. True freedom appears the exact moment we stop identifying with those temporary tags. True mindfulness isn't about gaining more knowledge or becoming more powerful. It's about shedding the ego. It's about walking through your own mental field of wheat, fully feeling the present moment, without the exhausting, relentless need to be someone. Most of the advice we hear today tells us to build a stronger ego, to hustle harder, to aggressively become a better version of ourselves, to conquer our own personal Rome. But maybe, just for today, you shouldn't try to become a better version of yourself. Attempt for a moment to leave your identity at the door. Try to stop being someone. Drop the impressive titles. Drop the heavy, repetitive history you constantly recite to yourself. Perhaps in that absolute, terrifying silence, where there is nothing left to defend and absolutely no one left to impress, you will discover a profound peace that was always there, quietly waiting beneath the armor. So ask yourself, what mask are you ready to let drop today?